Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. In an attempt to stay culturally relevant on this channel, I have decided we are going to play an Avengers scenario. Yes, Infinity War, currently on version 4. 5 stars, believe it or not, by Zerosian. The Avengers, of course, the Infinity War and Thanos and all that stuff. You guys may have heard of it. I mean, it's only been kind of like, a big frickin' deal culturally on the internet and everything. You know, it's funny that everyone freaked out that at the ending of that movie, which I won't spoil just for those of you who may not have seen it, although I really have no idea why you wouldn't have at this point. But yeah, everyone freaked out, and it's like, I totally expected it. This thing is following the comics, like, pretty darn well. The only major exception is Thanos' motivation, which, by the way, in the comics, more complicated, but way cooler. Like, Thanos has this thing for, like, Lady Death. He kills, like, half the population of the universe in order to impress Death. An actual, like, personification of it. It's kind of cool. In this one, in the movies, it's not as drastic, but it also is a little bit easier to process. It's good, though. Anyway, this is a plague that is based on the movie Avengers Infinity War and some of the movies leading up to it. I mean, hey, yeah. Why not? I appreciate some good old-fashioned Marvel comics, movies, and everything else. Let's go ahead and see if this scenario is worth anything. By the way, the memeage that has come out of Thanos car, and some of those other things that it said, it has been really good. Like, it's some of the few memes that I actually have been able to appreciate have been the Thanos memes lately. By the way, maybe this is just a crazy idea. It has nothing to do with the scenario. Has anyone thought of crossing the Colin Kaepernick Nike blurb, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything, and just putting a Thanos picture over it? Because I feel like that'd be a really good crossover. Anyway. Metabolic jump, genetic mimic, aquastatic human file, and symptostasis to start. Normal difficulty, and it's called Mercy. Ha 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 ha. No, okay. Thank you for playing my plague. I really enjoy making workshop items and appreciate anyone that takes the time out of their day to play my custom content. Well, I am thrilled that you are so polite and grateful for my attention, so I am predisposed to liking this scenario just based on your can-do attitude. Show mercy to Earth. Eradicate half of all life or overpopulation will destroy humanity. Yes, because this is mercy. Mercy that we are doing. Begins in Saudi Arabia. The sad thing is there are actually people who kind of believe exactly what Thanos does in the movies. That the overpopulation is going to ultimately, maybe not yet, but ultimately is going to result in some drastic cuts to the population. Some people suggest you're going to have to actually remove population. Others suggest that we should do a worldwide one-child rule, which obviously for ethical reasons I'm opposed to both, but still, it's interesting. Chitauri 1, the Chitauri influence infection. Chitauri soldiers increase infectivity, land transmission, and mutation. I don't know what Chitauri is. This doesn't have anything to do with Black Panther, does it? Because that's the one Marvel movie I have not seen. Well, that and Ant-Man and the Wasp. I haven't seen that one either. Okay, I'm a little bit behind times. And Yali doesn't like the Marvel movies. She thinks they're dumb. The only one she liked was Doctor Strange, so I don't get to see them all anymore. It makes me sad. Leviathans. Leviathans influence infection by equipping the Chitauri with troop carriers, increasing infectivity and air transmission, especially in urban regions. You know what? I think the Chitauri might be those weird chitinous alien things that were with the giant floating eel things in the first Avengers movie. I'm just guessing. The Black Order allows you to recruit children to aid your cause. Symptoms and abilities. Assemble the Gauntlet. Allows you to collect Infinity Stones, which boost different stats heavily. That makes sense. Let's start with the frickin' Gauntlet. Also, we'll go for the Leviathans, I guess. I don't freaking know. So what, Thanos is just invading the world proper now? I mean, it seems to me that all you should have to do is get the Infinity Gauntlet, then press a button, and then boom, you just win the scenario. Half the world's population is dead. But it sounds like we're going to have to infect people the old-fashioned way. That's the big downside of this, is I will say, infections, I don't really get how they fit with the theme of this scenario yet. The lines have not been connected for me. Maybe they will be, but I'm not going to hold out hope. Herr-Kleiser. Herr-Kleiser? We're talking the Red Skull from the old terrible Hydra villains. Yeah. Summon a Chitauri to shapeshift into a Nazi named Herr-Kleiser. Maybe that's not Red Skull. Maybe that's the other guy. Whatever. This increases infectivity in rich countries and chance mutation. I went into the scenario thinking that I was going to know some of the stuff I was talking about because I actually am somewhat familiar with Marvel comics and movies and everything else. Partly because I've watched most of them, but also because my dad is quite the DC and Marvel comic buff. He grew up on that stuff and knows a whole lot. He still follows the plot lines to this day. So I hear little things here and there. For example, Thor being a woman and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I thought I would know things, and I'm sort of reading this, and I'm like, I don't recognize some of these details. Clearly, I am a scrub. Ebony Maw and Black Dwarf. These two heavily influence infectivity and increase severity, but are required to collect some Infinity Stones. Okay, so if we want to continue gathering up my Infinity Gauntlets, you're telling me that I have to actually assemble all of those children that Thanos, you know, kind of brought under his control and raised sort of like a parent, but mostly to become kind of like super freak assassins? I don't know. P. Midnight and C. Glaive. Guess there's not enough character space for that. These two heavily influence lethality and mutation chance, required to collect some Infinity Stones. Gamora and Nebula, of course, everyone knows. Severity only. So it sounds like we want Ebony Maw and Black Dwarf, so that we can get a little bit of extra infectivity. Chitauri 2 would probably be a good thing to get. I am loving the complete customization here so far. It will be kind of fun getting the Infinity Gauntlet and then just clicking a button and then all of a sudden, boom! Max severity, or whatever the heck it's going to be. That will feel very appropriate. All right, let's go ahead and pick that up. We have Trauma. After events like the attack on New York, people want to move locations to avoid similar situations. Increases sea transmission and air transmission. Mothership. Increases the amount of Chitauri and troop carriers. Upgrades previous effects plus sea transmission. Did we just mutate something? We did. The attack on New York. Lend the Chitauri to Loki. This slightly increases severity and lethality, especially in rich urban countries, and slows down the cure. So now we're in the first Avengers movie. The Avengers assemble and all that stuff with Loki as a villain, which, by the way, that was an excellent, excellent superhero flick. I liked that. Liked it a lot. Age of Ultron. Didn't like this one so much. This slows down the cure because people be too focused on rebuilding. We'll worry about that sort of later. And one thing I was kind of thinking through here, when Iron Man came out, because that was like the first like major Marvel movie. I mean, yes, there was the Hulk and stuff before that, but come on, no one cared about the old Hulk movies. That's been remade like 2 or 3 times for a reason, because they sucked. Anyway, when Iron Man came out, who would have imagined the monstrosity of the character arcs and the movie series and connections and all that stuff that got like created out of that? Like, who would have thought? I certainly didn't. I thought it was just like, hey, wow, someone made something other than Spider-Man and the Hulk for once. But no, it actually was the beginning of something that has lasted for most of my life, I think. Is it most of my life? When did it come out? I don't remember when Iron Man came out, actually, but it's been a long time. Wormhole. Opens wormholes all over Earth, increasing infectivity in all areas. Boom. We'll also go for the sea transmission. Skadoosh. So I'm not worried about Age of Ultron. We'll probably mutate that one for free. We need to continue getting some children unlocked so that we will be able to unlock the Infinity Gauntlet. That's what I'm learning here. Actually, you know what? Let's go for the Age of Ultron. Nope, it doesn't unlock anything. Darn! Okay, so less cure progress, not that it's relevant right now. So that only leaves me with Gamora and Nebula, and then finally P. Midnight and C. Glaive. I don't remember their full names. So we'll end up having some lethality, which I'm not really thrilled about, but what can you do? We do have Destruction of Xandar unlocked, required to take the Power Stone. Okay, hang on, let's take a Power Stone. So we've got Xandar dead, then we can increase severity by a small smidgen by getting the Power Stone. Okay. The Power Stone you'd think would be a little bit more effective than that, but let's go for P. Midnight and C. Glaive. That leads to no new things there, but we do have this, so let's go for the Power Stone and... Oh, okay, if you can get the Power Stone, that leads to the ambush on Asgard, required to take the Space Stone, increases severity. Now, am I the only one who thinks that the Thor movies are, by a long shot, the weakest in the current Marvel saga? I have not liked a single one of the Thor movies. I've watched all 3 of them, and my parents really liked the 3rd one especially. They thought that was the best of them all. But I'm like, I really don't like it. The first one with Natalie Portman, it's terrible. Second one, I don't even remember anything about it because it was so unmemorable. The 3rd one was just like, you're trying way too hard to be humorous. I just didn't get it. I really didn't get it. It's rare that I would say that I really didn't like a Marvel movie, but I have not liked a single Thor movie. He's been fun in the Avengers, though. Space Stone. Now that we have managed to ambush Asgard. All right, let's go for the Space Stone. That leads to invading the Collector. Required to take the Reality Stone. Slows down research speed. Alrighty, we'll pick that up, and then we'll go for the Reality Stone. We got 3 stones so far. Sacrifice Gamora. Sacrifice everything. Required to take the Soul Stone. Increases research speed and decreases infectivity, but heavily increases severity. So I do have to be careful, like, we still have to get into, like, Greenland and stuff. If we don't get into Greenland, I'm sort of assuming that we're going to get, some sort of a button from the Infinity Gauntlet that instantly infects everything. I would hope. Soulstone, you're a monster. Yes, I am. All right, that leads to the battle on Titan. Required to take the Time Stone. which is going to be very interesting to see how that works out, if they're going to follow the comic books, like, completely or not. Which I won't spoil for those of you who are not familiar with it. Time Stone increases the amount of time needed to make a cure. All right. This leads to the battle on Wakanda. Required to take the Mind Stone slows down research speed and slightly increases severity, so we're going to go and kill the Vision. That leads to the Mind Stone. Allows you to snap your fingers and symptoms. Skadoosh. All right, we have managed to assemble an Infinity Gauntlet. Too bad they didn't have a blue color here, because then this actually would have been like the proper Infinity Gauntlet. I like that it's gold. Like, I'm realizing some of the details here. That's actually kind of clever. I like it. Snap! Erase half of all life. Max infectivity, severity, and lethality. That doesn't help me if I'm not in Greenland. You guys realize, if I'm not... And Greenland just shut down their thing. Well, I'm going to snap my fingers anyway, since... What the heck? Guys... Are you noticing this? The bacteria are, like, spasming? Is this a bug? Or did someone actually do something to do that? Okay, that's unsettling. The whole world dies, and because we didn't infect Greenland, we lose. Guys, this isn't how it works. This isn't how it works. You can't just go max lethality and max infectivity and think, hey, you win. No, you need the max infectivity first, and then the lethality. How do you win this? Let me try it again. All right, now I'm in every country. Let's see if it works. We're gonna snap our fingers. Does it instantly do it or not? And actually it worked. What do you know? Wow. Okay, I stand corrected. It does actually work. You just have to make sure you get into freaking Greenland, which means take your time before you go for the Infinity Gauntlet until you got a darn boat, which needlessly slows down the scenario. But either I just got lucky with the 50-50 chance, or it actually works and I'm wrong. You just snap your fingers and instantly infects the world and then kills them. Which, by the way, I thought we were trying to kill half the world. Instead, we killed everyone. All the billions. All the billions infected. Watch this. It's going to instantly go dark. Wait for it. Boom. World's dead. Went so fast, the replay can't even catch up. It doesn't even register that it infected everything. 381 days. One proper year here. 69,991 points. 3 stars because, of course, you know, when you can just snap your fingers like that, then boom. I mean, that saves a lot of frickin' time, you know? 0% cure progress, too, which I like. Okay. So maybe the mechanic does work. Just make sure you take your darn sweet time, get into Greenland first, and then maybe just snap your fingers and win. All in all, it's a fine scenario. I really liked some of the attention to detail. It does follow the linear story a little bit, but I'm not expecting it to really branch out and vary, right? Because it's trying to follow an established movie saga. Now, what would be really cool is if you can throw in some tidbits that aren't shown in the movies and exist in the comic book series and stuff. That would be kind of fun. But anyway, yeah, I'd say that it's a pretty good scenario. It's fast, and, you know, this is one of the few cases where I actually think that the big red button that I usually criticize is actually completely warranted and fun and worthwhile, so I liked it. Good scenario. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.